Warning, my biorhythms are 13% today. How does he function, you ask? I don't know. But I'm going on, 'cause life is that way. You just have to go on, even though your biorhythms are 13%. It's been a difficult week. There was a mouse in the kitchen. I don't like mice. Oh, they're furry. And they're small. And they're beady-eyed. And I think they grow up to be big rats. And I don't like them in the kitchen. I was walking across the kitchen. And I saw it. It was smirking at me from behind a clothes hamper. First I thought, why is a clothes hamper in the kitchen? Next I thought, why is that mouse there? And it brought back bad memories of mice in the past. Mind you, when you're a pacifist, mice are a serious problem. They procreate. One mouse suddenly becomes 2 mice, and then 2 mice become 50 mice, and they're everywhere. So I said to myself, Jer, even with your biorhythms at 13%, you're going to have to deal with the mouse. It brought back memories of mice in the past. I'll never forget one mouse. He was a small mouse, but he too had beady eyes. And I'd bought a mouse trap that would not hurt the mouse. You filled it with peanut butter. It had a trap door. Unsuspecting, naive mouse runs inside the trap, and the door would shut behind it, and the mouse is left in there with a full meal. Of course, every time I would get up, I would check the mouse trap, and there would be a mouse, smiling, fat. The peanut butter would be gone. So this one day, we caught the mouse, and the kid who was here said, I'm not afraid of a mouse. Let's put a ribbon on him. I said, no, you don't put a ribbon on a mouse. He says, yes. Your traps don't work. Old man, let me show you. So he opens the door, the mouse sticks its head out of the top, and he takes the ribbon, and now the ribbon has a mouse in the middle of its bow. Comes across the mouse's tummy, and he pushed the mouse back in, and he shook it, shut the door. So I took the mouse 3 blocks away, and a field was there. So I stopped the car, and I let the mouse with the ribbon out, and it shot like a bolt of lightning off into the field. I thought, I have saved the mouse's life. I felt good as I drove home, and you know how old people drive. I had my hat and my pipe. I meandered down the highway at 20 miles an hour and arrived at the house. Opened the door and said, took care of that mouse. And the kid said, he's here. Sure enough, the mouse with the ribbon around his tummy. Easy to spot. Had got back to the house before I did. Somehow managed to get in the front door. Or the rear door. I don't know, maybe it climbed in a window. So mice are a serious problem. And there's another serious problem perplexing me today while I'm suffering from 13% of my biorhythms. And that is things that disappear. Oh, I know. When your house is unkept like mine, it's easy for things to disappear. But I've had several things disappear, and I'm wondering if others have had this phenomena occur to them. The most graphic was, I was in the car. I had come home. I pulled in the driveway. I shut the car off, and I took the keys out of the ignition, and I saw some papers on the other side of the car, so I reached across the seat to get the papers, and I dropped the keys. and I couldn't find the keys. I'd heard them hit. They made a kind of a thud sound. I spent an hour at least, and I do exaggerate, but I'm not exaggerating, because I had no way to get in the house. And also, since there were keys to a school on that key ring, it's a serious matter if they're lost. Not able to find the keys, I finally, in frustration, went into the house, but without the keys. That wasn't easy. Of course, the security measures, because we'd had a break-in, had brought security to this house that had never been there before. There was only one way to get in the house, and that was to break a window, which I had to do. So I told one of the kids when he came home, I said, "You got to figure out what happened to my keys." He went out there, and he even tore the seats out of the car, tore the console out of the car. We could not find the keys. I bet you 5 people looked for those keys. I bet there was 30 hours looking for those keys. We never found them. I'd never gotten out of the car. The keys just vanished with a thud sound. This morning I was doing a video for iReport, and never do I do things in one take, though I would like to, in my dreams maybe. And after I had messed up by calling President Bush President Nixon, I stopped and I thought I'll have a smoke. And I took my Zippo lighter and the cigarette, and I dropped the Zippo lighter. It fell from my hands. It made a thud sound. It hit on the desk next to me, on a pile of papers that were there. I have papers everywhere. I heard the thud sound. I've tore this place apart. The lighter is just gone. Vanished. Do these things go into a different dimension? Are they perhaps beamed up out of my hand by a UFO? These things disappeared. Of course, it could be senility in my advanced years, but I don't think so. Am I the only one that has things disappear like that? Where do they go? Maybe into another dimension, another time? Maybe when I die and I arrive at the gate, St. Peter will say, "They're here, your keys and your lighter." And you know something else that disappears? Friends. If you will excuse me.